Welcome back to Paper Therapy with Amy. I have a quick video for you today on how I stencil a 3 or 4 inch piece of 12 by 12 paper. So it's a 3 by 12 piece of paper with the card front stencils. So they're not really for this purpose, but I use them for this purpose anyway because you know scrapbooking is my first love. I tape the stencil down to my all-purpose mat, and I'm starting here with Harbor ink, and I'm going to set my piece of paper in so that that diagonal corner stripe there goes right across the corner of my paper perfectly. I line that up. Now I'm going to ink those two spots, and then I'm going to slide up, and every time I slide up, I need to be able to see that last line that I've made perfectly in the window of my stencil. Once it's lined up, then I can ink the next line. And I'm going to keep doing that until I get to the end of my paper. There is a corner that's going to be missed every time. I just pointed to it really quick there because this is very sped up, as you can tell. And so each time I slide up, I'm going to miss that corner. But if you just hang with me here, you'll see how I complete those corners and you wouldn't even know that I had to go over them again. So once I get to the bottom here, I've got all of my diagonal stripes in, and I'm just going to quickly go and finish off those corners. I just move the paper into a space where it's lined up, and then I stencil it in. Now, using these stencils, you have to clean off your mat and your stencil very well because you need to flip the stencil over to get your stripes to go the other way diagonally. I started with that Harbor ink, and now I'm going to move on to charcoal ink, and I'm going to do the same process again, except it's going the opposite direction. I'm going to ink those diagonal lines, and I'm not going to worry when my stencil doesn't quite cover all the way to the corner because I can shift it over later and finish off that little corner. Every time, in order to know that I'm in the right spot, I make sure the previous line above is perfectly lined up with the last line that I have made. And that's how I know that I'm in the right spot. Now, previously, I had only done this with the slimline card front, and it actually worked a little bit better. I didn't have to touch up those corners as much, but now I'm using the regular card front. So it also works, and you can do a bit of a wider swath. With the slimline, I was doing 3 inch by 12 inch pieces, and now I'm doing 4 inch by 12 inch pieces. Now, each time my stencil has been taped in place, and I only just put that small piece of tape to hold the piece of paper in place. But generally, I'm sliding that piece of paper under the stencil and moving it into the next position. That way, I don't have to peel everything up off the mat. I can just kind of shift it into the right spot and keep on going. The close to my heart teal colored masking tape would be perfect for this project, but I'm actually using Post-it removable tape because that's just what I have. So now I'm going to move on to the next size stencil to add some orange or some paprika into my project. So this time I have taped down my stencil on either side, and I'm also taping off one of the lines because I don't want a double line, I want a single line. I want the thin line to just be one line. Now I ink up my brush really, really well because in order to do this, you want your brush quite saturated or you'll be there all day rubbing back and forth trying to get it to saturate into the paper. I moved my tape one time there, and then I realized that if I shifted the paper up, I didn't have to move the tape every time. However, you will have to kind of loosen the tape from the paper because I'm pressing, and since it's covering a stencil line, it's sticking right onto the paper, but that's perfect because then the paper does not move at all. So because this line's quite a bit thinner, I don't have to worry about not having the complete line and having to finish it off in the corner later. It's because the other line was so wide that was a problem because it's actually a card front. So this time I'm just shifting up, making sure I can perfectly see that paprika line in the space of the stencil and the stencil line above, making sure it's in the right stencil line. Whether I'm doing the first one or the second one, you just pay attention that you see it reappearing in that one each time. And then I'm just stenciling the next line and the next line. That's how that works. Now you can see that my stencil and my mat got a good cleaning again, and I'm flipping it over so the lines are going to be going the opposite direction, creating an X basically. And I'm taping it down well and doing the exact same process going the other direction. So I'm going to do each paprika line, making sure that I can see when I shift the paper, I can see it in the opening above, that it's lined up, and laying down another strip of that paprika ink. So as you watch me finish this process, I just wanted to say thanks again for stopping by my channel and coming to see what artwork I'm working on today. And if you are enjoying this video, do hit that like button and also subscribe to my channel so you're notified when I put out a new video. I will link the Plaid stencil fronts down below along with the stenciling brushes and the all-purpose mat. Now, even though I'm a ginger, I am not Scottish, I am Dutch. But let me warn you that you're going to want to be Scottish when you start doing these plaid stenciling backgrounds, because they are so fun to make. It is so fun to add the different colors and try different things to see how it will turn out. I've really enjoyed playing with this stencil, and I've made a lot of different patterns. Now I'm bringing in my mink ink, and I'm just cleaning off my brush a little on a scrap paper because that's the charcoal brush. And I'm just going to blend everything with that mink, especially concentrating on that crisp white. I just want to tone it back a little bit, and it just helps everything blend together and make it look more like just a patterned piece of paper that came that way. I wanted more of a muted look. So in a minute here, I'll give you a close-up, but that's pretty well it for me today. Stay tuned and you'll see how I'm going to use this plaid paper in a project. I've got a project in mind, and I'll be working on that video in the next few days. But hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.